just so you know. Okay, so we're going to start today on my very favorite unit, which is algebra. Algebra has a bad name because it does get very complicated, but I actually love algebra because it's like a puzzle. So if you like puzzles, you're probably going to enjoy what we're going to do. And definitely what we're going to do in 6th grade is not going to be quite as complicated as it gets in some other grades. But by the time you are finished with this unit, you should be able to give me an answer to this question right here. So this may look really super complicated and difficult, but it's actually not as hard as it looks. So we're going to be able to answer questions like this when we get to the end. But I want you to know this. You have actually been doing algebra since kindergarten. We just didn't call it algebra. It looked different. So you were given a problem like this in kindergarten, and they said 5 plus what equals 9? What goes right here? 4. 4, right? Okay, well this is really the same thing that we're doing now, only instead of having a box right there, we're going to put a variable right there. A variable is a letter, and it simply means unknown. So the problem would say 5 plus x equals 9, instead of 5 plus box equals 9. It's the same problem. So if you can think about this as just the unknown, that's all it is. Your variable is just the unknown. And we can use any letter of the alphabet that we want to, although when we're working together, we're going to use X because it's easier for us to all talk about them if we're all using the same letter. Okay, so we got to talk about a few words. We already did that. So first of all, if you look on the front cover of your foldable that you have, we need to talk about the language of algebra. So here's the thing about algebra, and if you can get this in your head, it's going to help you. Algebra is its own language. It has its own rules. It has its own ways of doing things. And if you can look at it as, maybe sometimes we don't know exactly why the rule works that way, but it's because it's a different language. And if you think of it that way, it'll help you. So I'm really going to be teaching you a different language today and going forward. So once you know the parts of that language, it's going to be much easier for you. So first of all, we need to know some ways to write multiplication. All of the ways that are written on this thing on the front of your foldable are all ways that we can show multiplication. Now, first of all, I wrote all of these with letters, but they could be with numbers in some cases too. So for instance, if we see 2 letters next to each other, it means multiply them together. Okay, and we've sort of already been talking about that because we said if we have this, it means multiply them together, right? So anytime you see 2 letters together, it means multiply them together. Or a letter and a number, it means multiply them together. Now, can we do this with 2 numbers? Yeah. If I wanted to multiply 2 times 3, could I write that? No. No, because it looks like 23. So I have to tell you that we're multiplying them instead of it's the number 23. So we can't do it with numbers, but if we have 2 letters or a letter and a number, we can write them that way. Okay, so in the case of 2 numbers, we would probably put a dot in between them. So we would have 2 times 3 with a dot, and that's kind of what you're used to seeing. We've been talking about that one for a while. The other thing that I forgot to mention about algebra is that we always write things in the shortest way possible. That actually is super helpful, right? Because you don't like to write more than you have to. So we're going to write things in the shortest way possible. That's why in your notes, it tells you this is the best way to write multiplication, when you can. Obviously, you can't in all cases, but when you can, that's the best way. So that would make this one the second best way because it's also very short. Okay, now if you see a number next to parentheses or a letter next to parentheses, either that way or that way, that also means multiply. And if you see 2 parentheses together like that with nothing in between them, that also means multiply. So all of those are ways that we write multiplication. And you're going to see them in all those different ways in different things that you see. But just remember, every single one of those means multiply. Now, we're not going to use this one very much in algebra. Who knows why? Raise your hand if you know why. That would be a very bad idea. Why, Jack?
X would appear to be a variable.
Yeah, because that really would mean A times X times B. But that's not what it means. So that's why we don't use this very often in algebra. Okay? Let's talk for just a second about division. Okay, so we show division with that division sign that we've been using forever and ever. But in algebra, most of the time, division is shown by writing it as a what? A fraction. It means divide the bottom into the top, or the top divided by the bottom. So most of the time, you're going to see it written like this instead of with that divide sign, because remember, it's a shorthand. This is shorter and easier. Okay. Now, look on the front also. We need to talk about 4 very important words that you need to be familiar with. And you're going to have to memorize these 4 words and what they mean in algebra. So let's start with the first one, the variable. We've already talked a little bit about variables. So the variable is the letter. In other words, it's the unknown, it's the letter. So if you'll look at it, it says it's a number that can change. The whole reason that we have algebra is because variables can change. So some of you may never use some of this stuff in the future, but if you go into any type of engineering or any type of mathematical field, you'll use a lot of it. My son works some problems that are just way complicated. I have no even idea what he's doing. But variables are important because they need to, when they're testing things out, they need to decide, well, could it be this number or could it be that number? It just depends. So variables are important. So the variable is the thing that can change. So circle the 2 variables. X and Y are your 2 variables. Okay, which is not to be confused with 3x and 2y. So the 3 and the 2 are not variables, only the letters. Okay, now our next one is called the coefficient. So co generally means it belongs with something else, and in this case it does. It's the number next to the variable. So if a number is next to a variable, it means also the number that is multiplied by the variable, right? So the number next to the variable is the coefficient. It's the number multiplied by the variable. So in this case, those are 3 and 2. So mark those with a square. So you know 3 and 2 are the coefficients. They are the numbers next to the variable. Okay? Now there's also a thing called a constant. So if something is constant, that means it stays the same, right? So a constant is a number all by itself, and it's not going to change. It has nothing to do with the variable. In this case, we have one constant, and it's the number 5. Because it is all by itself. You see, it doesn't have a variable next to it. Okay? And the last one is the hardest to remember, but we have something called a term, and we're going to talk about these over and over again. But a term is the number of parts of an equation or an expression separated by addition or subtraction. That's the key. So the different parts separated by addition or subtraction. So do you see we have 3x plus, that's one term, 2y plus, that's 2 terms, 5, that's 3 terms. So this has 3 terms, 3x, 2y, and 5, because they are separated by addition signs. So terms are the groups. You're exactly right. So there are 3 terms in this example. Now we're going to start actually writing some algebraic equations using the words that we have been talking about. So you can use this list of words anytime you need to as we're going through this, if you've forgotten what operation different words mean. But we're going to start translating from these words into algebra. So we're translating from words into algebra, and we're going to do it in order. It's very important that we keep them in order, unless there's something that's called a turnaround word, and we'll get to that in just a little bit. So let's look at the first one. What word tells us which operation to do? What word, raise your hand if you know, tells us which operation to do? What word? Austin? Increased means to do what? Add. Good. So increased is add. X is what came first. Increased by 5. So X increased by 5 means X plus 5. Write that on your paper. We should be inside that foldable, that doodle note, okay? Okay, now number 2 has the word sum, which means add. Okay, but it isn't in between anything because it says the sum of 8 and a number. So where that and is, we can substitute the word sum. So first comes 8, sum, add, and then what do you think they mean by a number? A variable. Now you can use any variable you want, but when we're working together, please use x so that you'll make sure that we're talking about the same things. Okay, so 8 and that means sum, a number. Okay, you with me so far? All right, let's do some more. Okay, look at number 3. When you think you know what number 3 should look like, raise your hand. When you think you know what number 3 should look like, raise your hand. Dylan, what operation are we going to do?
You're going to do subtraction.
Subtraction.
And I did 11 minus x.
Very good. 11 minus x. Okay? Now let's look at the next one. I want you to actually do number 4 and number 5 by yourself, and then we're going to talk about them in just a minute. So write your answers to number 4 and number 5. All right, let's look at number 4. The product of a number and 6. That means what operation? Multiply, because product means multiply. And if we keep it in order, we have a number, that's x, times 6. How many people have that on their paper? Okay, good. Pat yourself on the back.
Oh, wait, no.
Now, did anyone write this a different way? Did anyone write this a different way? This is so important. What did you write?
I wrote x besides 6.
X and 6. Okay, good. Pat yourself on the back if you did that. Now, I'm going to tell you one of those really crazy rules of algebra. Neither one of these are wrong. This is correct. This is correct. But in algebra, there is a better way to write it. Because for some unknown reason, we always put the coefficient first. So what it really should look like is 6x. Write that on your paper, circle it, and make a note for yourself. That's the better way to write it. Okay, neither one of the other two are wrong, but we always put the number first. And we can change the order of them because it's multiplying. And we can all multiply forwards and we can multiply backwards. So we can change the order. Okay, and so we sort of have something similar with the quotient of a number and 12. So quotient means divide. So a number comes first, and that order definitely matters. So x divided by 12. Okay, who wrote it a different way? Or who knows how to write it a different way? Curran, what way should we write it?
x/12.
X over 12. That's the better way to write it. So when we show division, we really want to show it that way. That's the shortcut, and that's the way we want to show it. This is not wrong. This is better. Okay? All right. So turnaround words tell us to change the order of the problem. Now, some of you may look at these and logically understand that you need to flip-flop them, and some of you need to memorize the words, and it's just up to how your brain works. Some of you will be better one way or the other. But if you look in the middle of your little foldable there's a little cloud of thought, and it says there are some turnaround words. The first one is from. The second one is fewer than, and less than. Okay. All three of those words mean the same operation. Anybody know what it is? It's subtraction, right? So subtraction is the operation because it doesn't matter what order we multiply in, and it doesn't matter what order we add in, but it does matter what order we subtract in. So these are what we call turnaround words, telling us to flip-flop the order. So if you'll look at these 3 examples that you have in your notes, 6 from a number. So what's our turnaround word? From. So go ahead and circle it so you remember. That means that whatever comes after the from goes before it, and whatever comes before the from goes after it. So a number is x, from minus 6. X minus 6. The next one. What's the turnaround words?
Less than.
Less than. X goes first, minus 3. Turn around on number 8.
Fewer than.
Fewer than. X minus 5.